It's time for Insight, a war of words reflecting escalating tensions between Russia and the West.
Every nation has the right to exercise its forces, also Russia, of course. But the challenge with the pattern of exercises we see in Russia now is that it fits into a broader picture of a more assertive Russia.
We will provide an adequate answer to all external and internal threats to national security. The situation cannot stay forever as it is now. It will change, I hope for the better. But not because we make concessions or bow down. It will change for the better only if we become stronger.
NATO has announced it will set up 6 new command posts in Eastern Europe. It's a move to counter Russia's alleged aggression in eastern Ukraine. NATO calls it the largest reinforcement of its collective defense since the end of the Cold War. Russia calls the troop buildup a dangerous step. One area of particular concern to the West, Russia, setting its sights on the Baltic region. NATO recently scrambled jets to intercept Russian warplanes flying over the Baltic Sea. It's the latest incident and a recent rise of Russian military activity in the region. Tom Barton reports from Moscow.
A U.S. general warned earlier this month that Russian bombers have flown more out-of-area patrols in areas including the Gulf of Mexico, close to the UK coast, and across the Baltic than in any year since the Cold War. And relations between Russia and the West are at their worst since the end of the Cold War.
Both NATO and Russia, the United States and their allies on one side, and Russia on another side, want to demonstrate that intentions are quite serious and that recently established red lines are meant to be for sure.
NATO has formed what it calls a rapid reaction force to counter potential aggression towards Eastern European alliance states. In the past month, Russian combat readiness exercises were expanded to all military regions from the Arctic to the Far East. Russian President Vladimir Putin says recent military drills are just the beginning of a series of exercises planned for the coming months. NATO has held exercises near the Russian border in Eastern Europe. These latest Russian drills include military activities close to the borders of Poland, the Baltic states and Finland. Though these are just training, with both sides accusing each other of breaching a ceasefire in eastern Ukraine, the fear is that that will break down and fighting will escalate.
All previous agreements will be off. There's going to be sanctions. There's going to be actual, most likely, arms shipments to Ukraine. And many and Russian military are obviously preparing for even worse things. The probability that there may be a big war in Europe, an escalation of the fighting in Donbass, a local conflict, the kind of proxy war, small proxy war, relatively small, into a kind of regional war in Europe, which may actually then develop even into a nuclear exchange.
According to Russian statements, a recent exercise near NATO borders included ballistic missiles, strategic bombers and nuclear-armed submarines, as well as thousands of troops and vehicles. Tom Barton, CCTV, Moscow.